What's up everybody? Happy holidays. Christmas is around the corner and today we're going to be doing kind of like a little Christmas video. I'm going to talk about what are some of the emulators that would be great gifts, and then we're going to do a tier list thing where I'm going to rate some of my favorite handhelds. Before we get started, you might be wondering what the heck am I doing? Well, we are going to make a little snowman that I guess melts. One weird looking snowman. Alright, Merry Christmas. First I want to talk about kind of what got me into emulation to begin with, and we're going to go ahead and grab this device. This is the Miyoo Mini OG, and when I first got this device I was just blown away by how many games it could play, all of my retro favorites, and then it soon became an addiction, as you can see here. So let's go ahead and turn this guy on. Yeah, if you guys don't have the OG, and I don't think they make this version anymore, I think they're on version 4 and I have version 2. But if you don't have one of these in your collection, this is a must-have, in my opinion, for every retro game fanatic, I guess. This is just such an amazing little handheld. However, when I started playing with it, I kind of got sick of having to reach around and press these buttons in an awkward way, and which is why I picked up this next guy. But before we talk about the older brother, let's just talk about some of the games that I like playing during the holiday season. And one of those games, if we go to the recent list, is Final Fantasy Tactics on the GBA. It just reminds me of Christmas. I guess the setting, you know, in the beginning you had this snowball fight, and it kind of captures that Christmas spirit. So for me, I love playing Final Fantasy Tactics when we're, or at least during Christmas. So yeah, if you guys don't have a Miyoo Mini or you're thinking about getting a stocking stuffer, if I got this as a stocking stuffer, I would be super happy. So yeah, the Miyoo Mini. Let's talk a little bit about this case real quick, because I do get questions about what kind of case this is. This is by Luck Lab, and you can find this on Amazon. Since the Miyoo Mini is the size of a deck of cards, this box is for playing cards, and it actually fits perfectly like that. So yeah, if someone has a Miyoo Mini, they're looking for a case, this also would make a nice little gift. So yeah, I'll put the links in the description of where you can find this guy. Now the second device I want to talk about is the Miyoo Mini Plus. The Miyoo Mini Plus is a fantastic little device. I think it's great for beginners, specifically because of how easy it is to set up and use. I didn't do much here. I just installed different themes to get it to look really cool with this green and black color scheme, and it plays everything up to PS1 pretty darn well. So you can't go wrong with the Miyoo Mini. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can buy customizable items for friends. I know they have front plate stickers, a better D-pad, the buttons, you know, back stickers. They even have images that go inside of the battery pack area, which makes it look like it's holding a cartridge, which is very cool. I don't have that, but that's something that you can also get. So yeah, this makes a great gift, highly customizable, great price, great for beginners. This is an awesome gift in my book. So next, let's talk about my modded Game Boy Color. So this thing used to be lime green, and I bought a funny playing Game Boy Color IPS laminated backlight kit. It's a mouthful. That's what I bought. I opened up my old Game Boy Color and installed it in this new gray shell. I bought white buttons, so it's customized buttons. It comes with everything. You can go on their website and find tutorials on how to do this, but this is an awesome device for those who might already own a Game Boy Color and they want to upgrade it. I also bought the Sakura Retro modding stickers in the back to really give it that final official look, and I just absolutely love how this thing turned out. And you can customize these colors. They change colors if you want, but I just chose to go with white to really fit that gray and white color scheme. But I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. So if you have someone in your life who loves video games and they own a Game Boy Color, this could be a cool little tinkering gift, because it does require, you know, installation. So if they're pretty tech savvy, this might be a cool gift to get. Next up is the Anbernic RG35XXSP. Now the thing that I love about this device, not only is it like a Game Boy SP, I never had one growing up, so to me this was kind of a nostalgia buy, I guess, because I never had it, and I finally got a handheld system in this form factor, but I also went the distance and customized it to look like a mini PlayStation. And I think this thing is freaking rad. I think this thing looks so cool. I remember seeing this online and I knew I had to do something like this. So I bought the gray RG35XX SP. It came with these like magenta looking buttons, didn't like that. So I opened it up, swapped it out with the PlayStation buttons, and now it looks so cool. Just look at that. Even with like the little look at all the little details, the Sony logo and the PlayStation logo. It just absolutely looks fantastic in my opinion. I think I got this from, I don't know if it was Sakura Retro Modding. It might be them, but whoever did it, I'll put the link in the description if I can find it. I do think they don't make this anymore, but if I find it, I'll put the link in the description. You can see all these little details. Like, look how they really went the extra mile. Like, look at that. And it goes without saying, the Anbernic RGSP, it plays just as well as the Miyoo Mini, if not better, because you can actually play up to PSP, which is really cool. Okay, so next up, let's talk about the Razer Edge. So the Razer Edge is pretty old at this point, but you can find it used for a pretty good price, and if you can find it around $160, $170, I think it's an amazing device at that price point. I did a video on it, why I love it so much. You can play games like DS, which is amazing because it has a touchscreen. So here you can see, and because of its wide screen, it really takes advantage of that dual screen aspect. Didn't mean to do that. So not only Nintendo DS, but because of the thing's capabilities in terms of power, you can play PS2 pretty smoothly. Like, this is one of my favorite games, Bully, you know, and at that price point, if you can find one for 170 bucks or lower, I mean, you're getting an amazing device. And another cool thing about this is it does have HDMI out, so you can connect this to an external monitor or a TV, and you can kick back, connect a Bluetooth controller, and it's basically a mini PS2. And also, it plays PSP games super well. Like, look how smooth, let me turn this down real quick. And it plays PSP games so well. In fact, I actually prefer playing PSP games on this device versus my actual PSP because of that extra power and this crystal clear OLED screen. Like, games just look absolutely beautiful on this device. And it's a multimedia machine as well, you know, it's a tablet, so you can watch Netflix, you can browse YouTube, you can answer emails. Yeah, so highly recommend the Razer Edge. Next up is the TrimUI Smart Pro. What I love about this device is how it feels in my hands. And one thing to keep in mind when deciding if you want to purchase this system or not is your expectations in terms of performance. PSP games are hit or miss. Not every single PSP game will play perfectly, like say the Razer Edge. This system's just not as powerful, but it plays everything under PS1 flawlessly. It plays every game that I've tried really well, way better than the Miyoo Mini, especially when you're adding overlays and filters. That extra power comes in handy. However, games like God of War plays pretty well on this device, and I've been playing a lot of Wipeout on the TrimUI Brick recently, so Wipeout works really well on this device. Ultimate Alliance, unfortunately, doesn't work that well. So yeah, the TrimUI Smart Pro makes an excellent Christmas gift. Definitely recommend. Next on the list is the TrimUI Brick. Now, this device is probably the hottest Christmas gift this year because it just came out and this thing looks absolutely amazing. It really looks like the Analog Pocket, and it's a little bit smaller than the Miyoo Mini Plus, which makes it a little bit more portable, and it has the same capabilities in terms of power as the TrimUI Smart Pro. And I've been playing a ton of Wipeout on this device, and it plays super smoothly. And once again, because it has the same internals as the TrimUI Smart Pro, it plays everything under PS1 just perfectly. I can't say enough good things about this device. It's crazy that I can play PSP games in this small vertical form factor. And lastly, I just want to let you guys know my friends over at Mech DIY, they're having their Christmas sale. I think they're giving away these devices with a discount of 18% off, which is pretty darn good. So if you're thinking about getting one of these devices, I know this video is a little bit late, however, it's never too late to get one of these awesome devices, so check them out if you want that discount. Alright, moving on to the tier lists. These are just some of the systems that I've tested and or owned. And I know this is going to be pretty divisive because everyone has their own opinion on what they like, but this is going to be my take. Alright, so here we go. Analog Pocket. I've always wanted the Analog Pocket. I've tried the Analog Pocket. I've never owned the Analog Pocket specifically because of its price. It's an amazing system, however, my Game Boy Color can do pretty much the same thing, and all of my other retro emulation systems, like my Miyoo Mini, can pretty much do what the Analog Pocket can do, except play the actual physical cartridges. So we're gonna put this in the B tier. It's a beautiful device, but because of its price, I just think it's not worth the price. Yeah, so Analog Pocket, B tier. The next one is the Anbernic RG406V. The thing is ugly as it's ugly as sin, but it plays really well and it's actually quite comfortable in the hand. But it is ugly. But you know, I'm gonna put this right next to the Analog Pocket, B tier. It plays well, but I can't get over how it's a chunky boy, and I don't like the chunk. You know, it's too chunky. Alright, next one is the AYA Neo Pocket DMG. This one is gonna go into S tier. This is, if you combined everything on this list in an amazing form factor, it just goes into the S tier. That's where it goes. I love the look of it. However, the touch is a little bit wonky. But the amount of power that you're getting and the form factor that you're getting, this feels just like a S tier device. It is absolutely amazing. However, the price tag is a little bit egregious. But again, with what you can do with this device, I just love this device. I've tried it, I don't own it. I wish I own it. I'll probably buy it one day. But for now, this is where that's going. The next is the AYN Odin 2 Pro. Now, I own the Odin 1, we'll get to that in a bit, but the AYN Odin 2, like if you want to emulate PlayStation 2 and you've been trying out systems and certain ones like they just don't work, or you gotta tweak things, the AYN, it gives it a pretty seamless experience. Like it is an amazing experience, so this is gonna go into A tier. Alright, next is the Logitech Cloud. Alright, the Miyoo Mini Plus. This is probably one of my all-time favorite systems. It's going in S tier. I know this might be probably debatable, but look, the Miyoo Mini Plus, it's my favorite system. I love how I customized it. I just love how easy of a device it is. It's so customizable because there's so many aftermarket parts for it, and it does what you need it to do. It plays all of the systems that I would like in this form factor very well, so that's where the Miyoo Mini Plus is going. It has a special place in my heart, and because it's special, it belongs in the S tier. Miyoo Mini. This is what initially got me into the emulation scene, but you know, there was a lot left to be desired. It was a cute little device. It was amazing that it can play all these games in such a small form factor. But it left a lot to be desired in terms of the back buttons and whatnot. So I'm going to put this in the B tier. Next up is the new, how do you pronounce, hold on, let me go down. The Mod, oh yeah, that's right, the Mod Retro Chromatic. I went to, I think they're selling it at GameStop. I tried it. It's cool, I guess. I feel like it's a little late to the game, so C tier. You know, when you have all these other devices to choose from, why would I spend that much on something like this? I get it, they're trying to really like emulate that retro experience with the Game Boy. I think the Game Boy DMG, but you know, it's just not for me. So that's where that's going. Next is the Odin Pro, the first one. Now, I remember watching reviews and all these reviewers were saying how amazing the Odin Pro is. It's like the best device, and I bought it very excited thinking that I would be able to play, you know, PS2. I knew it wasn't going to be a perfect experience, but I expected it to at least be playable because that's what all these reviewers online told me. Well, when I got it, I was very disappointed and I returned it. So this is going to go into C tier. And again, I know people are going to be kicking and screaming because there's a lot of Odin fans, but no. And this is partly why I got into the reviewing YouTube game, because I just want to give people an honest opinion and not have to experience what I experienced, because I listened to all these reviewers and they told me that this was an amazing device and you're going to be, no, this thing sucked. I hated this device. So that's where that's going. Now, I know this is cut off here because I chose square, the square tiles, but whatever. This is the Odin 2 Mini. This device is amazing because it's a clone of the PS Vita, and the PS Vita is one of my favorite devices growing up. It's powerful, the form factor is amazing. However, it's not as comfortable as, say, the Odin 2 Pro. So this is gonna go in A tier. Yeah, that's where that's going. It kind of makes me rethink if the AOIN Odin 2 should be in the S tier, but we'll see. Next up is the Razer Edge. I have the Razer Edge. I love the Razer Edge. Is it a perfect device? No. Does it play games smoothly? Yeah, most of them. It definitely plays PSP games smoothly, but PS2 it kind of struggles in certain games, so this is going to go into the B tier. Solid device, not quite up there with the AOIN Odin 2, definitely not S tier, and it's better than the Odin 1. Retro Pocket 2S, now I remember this device back in the day. It was amazing when it came out, but if we're judging these consoles by today's standards, I'm gonna put this in C. It's still a good device, you know, but yeah, it's just outdated. And same goes for the Retro Pocket 3. However, if you were to pick up the Retro Pocket 3 today, it is still a pretty good deal, and for that price, it doesn't belong in the C tier. It definitely belongs up there with the Razer Edge. It's still a good device. Oh boy, okay, Retroid Pocket 5. Man. I want to say S tier because they knocked it out of the park with what this system can do. It's an amazing system, but is it better than the Odin 2? I mean, no, yeah, for the price, you know what, because the Odin is in like the $300 range, yeah, the Retroid Pocket 5 is S tier. This is probably one of the best systems you can get right now for the price. It's a great deal, it performs amazing, it looks amazing, so yeah, that's where that's going. Retroid Pocket Mini, easy A tier. It's a good device, however, why would you get this when you can get this? I guess the form factor, but no, I would still go with the Retroid Pocket 5. However, the Mini, it's a nice device. The screen, the 4:3 aspect ratio, it's great. So yeah, it's going in A. Okay, this is the, I think, see the problem with Ambernick devices, they all look the same. 406H. Honestly, I would put this in C tier. I know I'm gonna get crap for that, but I'm not a fan of that device. Now, the RG40XXV, this device is amazing. At that price point, with that single joy, I feel like they just knocked it out of the park. Like, you can play Dreamcast games, and the screen is absolutely beautiful. The price is decent. So yeah, this one's going in A tier. Next up is the brand new RG34XX. This is the Game Boy Advance clone. You know, it's a nice device. It's going in C tier just because, look, I know it's cool that it's in the form factor of the first Game Boy Advance and everything, and there's a lot of nostalgia there, but for me, it's just such a superfluous item at this point, you know? Maybe I'll change my mind when I start testing it out. That's another thing I have to preface. I haven't gotten mine yet. I ordered it, it's coming, but for now, it belongs in the C tier. Maybe after I get my hands on it, my mind will change. All right, the RG35XX. Now this is gonna be left to bias because it is a good device. However, because I got the Miyoo Mini Plus and I was never really a fan of Ambernick, this is gonna go in B tier. You kick and scream all you want. I know it's a good system, but for me, the Miyoo Mini Plus was just such an amazing experience when I tried this device and the stock operating system. And I know there's a lot of other operating systems that you can install on it, or I guess firmwares you can install on it. But yeah, for me, it was just a headache. So that's where that's going. And that's because the RG35XX SP was my form factor of choice. This device really brought back memories. The clamshell design is one of my favorite styles. So yeah, I would prefer the RG35XX SP over the older brother. All right, next up is the RG405M. Again, at the time, this was an amazing device, but now it's going in C tier. The RG40XX, and Bernick, I'm gonna put this in B tier, and RG503 can go right next to the Logitech G Cloud. All right, so these are the last three. Steam Deck. Again, a very, some people love it, some people hate it. But for me, it's going in S tier. And that's because I spend so much time with my Steam Deck. And not only can it play all the emulation games, even PS2 games quite well, I can play my entire, or just about my entire Steam library on this. And I spend most of my time in bed playing with the Steam Deck. With the track control, like they knocked it out of the park with the design, the functionality, just being able to use the gyroscopic or gyroscope controls when you're playing first-person shooters. It just gives you that extra bit of precision. And I didn't know that I would love the trackpads as much as I do. I thought it was ridiculous at first until I tried it, and yeah, that just changed my mind. So the Steam Deck, S tier, without a doubt. Okay, the TrimUI Brick and the TrimUI Smart Pro. Whew. I have to think about this because I love both of these devices. Okay. I will say, because of how beautiful the TrimUI Brick is, screw it, it's going in S tier. I love the TrimUI Brick. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It kind of does everything the Miyoo Mini Plus does, and you're getting an aesthetic bonus. It's a little bit more powerful than the Miyoo Mini, and you know what? No, I'm putting it in A tier. Sorry, guys. And the reason is because of the speakers. The speakers, I wish they could have gone a little bit. They could have gone the distance, really, if they just changed those damn speakers. Who knows? Maybe they'll upgrade that in the future. But it's going in A tier. It's a great device, but it has a lot of flaws. So it's going in A tier. Lastly, TrimUI Smart Pro. I have to be fair, A tier. Like when I look at what's in the S tier, the TrimUI Smart Pro, fantastic device, amazing price. It plays all the games that you want it to. However, it does struggle with some PSP games. If it was a little bit more powerful and in this form factor and in this price, I would go ahead and put it in S tier. But yeah, it belongs in A tier. Hey, A is still a good grade. So here is my final list. Yeah, I'm sure you guys disagree. However, this is where all of these systems sit, in my opinion. All right, enough of me rambling. God, that was long. But hey, if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you subscribed and liked this video. And if you haven't, feel free to do so. And if not, no worries. I'm just honestly having a ton of fun making these videos for you guys. I absolutely love this hobby. And yeah, so thank you for being here. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, guys, take care.